Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another practicing kind of video. It's similar to the last one in the sense that it's also tips of how to make yourself practice or tips on how to start. Today is all about drawing humans. The first and most important tip I have for you today is also my favorite. Is for when you don't have access to figure drawing classes, and right now I don't have access to them yet because it's June 2020. We are not exactly in lockdown, but we are kind of in lockdown. Not everything is open yet, and everything that involves many people in a tiny room is not very good yet. Let's just say that. And I'm still very nervous about going out, which is, I think, understandable since I'm home since March. But yeah, with that out of the way, my first tip is to ask a loved one, like a friend or a family or boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, your partner, anyone. Ask them to either pose for you if you are planning to do quick studies or just studying a knee or a foot or a hand, or if you are just wanting to practice drawing their face. You know, if you are planning to do quicker studies that don't involve them staying still for a long time, you can ask them to pose. But most people are not models and are not used to pose for a long time, so they can get cramps and stuff. So it's not great to ask them to pose for you for more than like 5 minutes, because after the 5-minute mark usually is when you start getting really bad cramps, depending on the pose. Another thing, and more similar to what I did today, is ask them to draw them while they are doing whatever they are doing already. So in this case, I asked my boyfriend if I could paint him and draw him while he was working, and that meant that he was comfortable, he was distracted, so he wasn't paying attention to me. He was sitting in a comfy chair and he didn't have to take time out of his work day to let me paint him or draw him. And a great thing about that is that you kind of learn. If you do this many times, I think you will learn a lot about the posture of people while they are sitting, while they are doing stuff. So I started to notice after a few sketches that he arches his neck quite a lot, so it always looks like he has kind of a hunchback. I think that's how you call it, but that's just because of his terrible posture while he's working, you know. I think we all have posture issues, and drawing a perfectly posed person sitting is not as useful for future reference. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but if you are trying to draw someone reading very comfortable for a particular piece, I don't know, just a cozy drawing, it's way more useful to study people sitting like that than to study people sitting very stiff because they are posing for you and they cannot move. You know, I think in that sense it's more useful, but depends on what you're doing. In this case, I think it's very nice to ask your loved ones if they can let you draw them while they just do things. And even though he was moving quite a bit, I only got a quick painting and a fairly quick sketches, you know, it was still quite fun. And the most important thing about asking people you love to draw them is that it makes you want to draw. It makes you want to fill up pages with sketches of them because they are someone you really like or someone you love, depending on your relationship with them. So in this case, it made me very happy to be drawing him. And the second tip would be when this lockdown is over and when you are comfortable going out, you can also draw people on the subway stations or the train stations or bus stops. I wouldn't tell you to draw in the vehicles themselves, like the buses and trains and subways and things, because I get pretty bad motion sickness, so I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And usually people are in fairly similar positions, even if they move a little bit, because they usually are either checking how long it takes for the next bus, train or subway to arrive, or they are sitting waiting like you, or something like that. So usually they are pretty stationary poses. I think that's how you say it, right? But very useful ones, because you are able to practice a wide array of postures and ages and body types, and you can get a lot from drawing outside, even though right now it's not great to do that. But once this lockdown is over, I would highly recommend you do that. And the last tip for today comes from the comments on the last video, and I think you saw me do this in the beginning of the video actually, and I think it was Gwen, but I'm not sure. And they said that they also use watercolor pencils to sketch very often, because they can shade the sketch with just a wet brush, and I decided to try that for today, and it's actually really fun and takes away a lot of the pressure. It actually makes the sketch look pretty cool and makes me excited to do that again and practice more about this kind of technique, you know, like sketching technique. And yeah, I am really happy with the result. I'm really happy with the process of sketching my boyfriend and painting him, and I think it was a really nice time spent together, even though he was working and I was painting. So it's really nice to be doing something while that other person is still doing stuff. So yeah, it was really nice, and I highly recommend you try this with someone. Someone you enjoy spending time with. Thank you very much for watching. I hope these tips helped you. I hope you feel excited for drawing more, and I really hope you get to experience what I did while recording this, you know, painting someone you love. So yeah, I hope to see you next week, and yeah, bye!